Welcome to this journey toward inner calm and mental clarity. In today's fast-paced, ever-demanding world, we often find ourselves battling stress, expectations, and uncertainty. But what if there was a way to release the struggle, not by giving up, but by stepping into wisdom that's guided some of the greatest minds in history? That way is Stoicism, an ancient philosophy forged in adversity, tested through empires, and timelessly relevant to our everyday lives. This video will take you through 10 powerful Stoic truths that, if practiced, can transform your mindset and bring lasting clarity to your life. Let's begin with the first truth. 1. Embrace what you can control. At the heart of Stoicism lies one profound principle, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Understanding this truth can liberate us from so much of our mental anguish. When you realize that your power lies in your responses, not in controlling outcomes or other people, you shift from a place of resistance to acceptance. Ask yourself, am I spending energy worrying about what I can't change? Or am I investing it into what I can, my mindset, my values, my habits? You can't control if someone cuts you off in traffic. But you can control whether you let it ruin your day. You can't stop the rain from falling. But you can decide how you walk through the storm. This mindset isn't passive, it's powerful. It allows you to reclaim your agency. Let's say you're in a job interview. You can't control whether they'll hire you. But you can control your preparation, your effort, your composure. Regardless of the outcome, you've won by mastering what's within your grasp. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not about giving up, it's about going inward and finding strength where it truly exists, within yourself. Each morning, list 3 things within your control and 3 things outside of it. This trains your mind to release the struggle over the uncontrollable and double down on what matters. Peace, focus, and strength are born when we live at the intersection of intention and acceptance. 2. Accept the flow of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Life doesn't follow a script. We experience detours, delays, and disruptions. And often, it's not the events themselves that trouble us, but our resistance to them. Imagine standing in a river. If you fight the current, you exhaust yourself. But if you learn to move with the water, you stay afloat, agile, aware. The Stoics knew that to resist life's flow is to create suffering. To move with it is to find peace. Acceptance is not resignation, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that while you may not choose every experience, you can choose how you meet it. Suppose you've planned a perfect day, and suddenly it rains, your plans fall apart. You can fume in frustration, or you can adapt, explore something new, find joy in the unexpected. That shift is Stoicism in action. Seneca reminded us that fate leads the willing and drags along the unwilling. When we align with the natural flow of life, its ups, its downs, its detours, we transform obstacles into opportunities for growth. At the end of each day, ask, where did I resist today? What felt hard because I refused to let go? Then ask, how could I have flowed instead of fought? Try this simple mantra when facing an obstacle. This is part of the path. Breathe into it. Feel your resistance soften. Then respond from a place of clarity, not control. Acceptance doesn't weaken you. It frees you from illusion, from stress, from the impossible task of shaping reality to your will. It brings you into harmony with life, and that harmony is the foundation of lasting mental clarity. 3. Limit excessive desires. Seneca warned us, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The world around us is engineered to keep us wanting. Newer phones, bigger houses, more likes, more approval. But with every new craving comes a new chain, pulling our minds away from peace and anchoring us to dissatisfaction. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency, not isolation, but inner wealth. They taught that true contentment isn't found in accumulation, but in appreciation. When you constantly chase what's outside you, you lose sight of what's already within you. Imagine scrolling through social media and feeling envy about someone's lifestyle. Instead of spiraling into want, pause. Ask yourself, what in my life, right now, is already enough? That shift redirects desire into gratitude. Wisdom from the ancients. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This doesn't mean rejecting all pleasure, but mastering our desires so they serve us, not enslave us. Once a week, deny yourself a comfort you've grown used to, a hot shower, a favorite snack, streaming entertainment. Not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself, I am not dependent on these things to feel whole. Over time, this voluntary simplicity sharpens your clarity. You begin to distinguish what you truly need from what merely distracts you. Ask, what am I desiring today that I don't really need? What's driving that desire? Fear, comparison, boredom? Can I be content without it? When we limit our excessive desires, we reclaim the spaciousness of the present moment, the joy of enough. And in that space, peace quietly returns. 4. Recognize the transitory nature of life. Everything passes. The good and the bad. The joy and the sorrow. The Stoics constantly reflected on the impermanence of all things to deepen their appreciation of the present moment. They called this practice memento mori, remember that you will die. Not to darken the spirit, but to awaken the soul. When we embrace the truth that life is fleeting, we learn to live fully, not someday, but now. Think about your current worries. Will they still matter in a year? In 5 years? Often, what consumes us now is just a blip in the vast canvas of time. Seeing through this lens puts your struggles into perspective and softens their grip on your peace. Wisdom from the ancients. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." It's not a call to fear death, it's a call to value life. Each morning, take a moment to remind yourself, this day is a gift. It will never come again. And each evening, reflect, did I live today as if it mattered? Symbolic reminder. Carry a small item, a stone, a coin, a token, as a daily memento. Let it whisper to you, this too shall pass. When you internalize impermanence, you stop clinging to things, people, and expectations. You love more freely, you forgive more quickly, and you live with clarity. This is not morbidity. This is presence. This is peace. 5. Cultivate inner fortress. The world can be chaotic, but your mind can be a sanctuary. The Stoics believed that true strength lies not in brute force, but in building an unshakable character. You can't always choose your environment, but you can always choose your foundation. Think of your inner self as a fortress, built stone by stone through daily practice, discipline, and reflection. The storms may howl outside, but they cannot breach your walls if you fortified your core. You receive criticism at work. Instead of collapsing into self-doubt or lashing out in defense, you pause. You ask, is this true? Is it useful? You remain grounded, not reactive. That's strength. Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. This mastery isn't about control over others. It's about authority over your impulses, fears, and attachments. And it's cultivated through daily rituals, honest self-examination, and an unwavering commitment to virtue. Journal daily, not to record your day, but to understand your reactions. Practice voluntary discomfort, not as punishment, but to build resilience. Choose silence over impulse in moments of emotion. Each night, ask, where did I stand strong today? Where did I let fear or pride speak louder than wisdom? The more you build this fortress, the more you'll realize. Peace isn't found in a quiet life, it's built within a quiet mind. And in that quiet, you'll hear the voice of clarity. 6. Practice voluntary discomfort. The Stoics understood that comfort can often become a cage. When life is too easy, we grow soft, mentally, emotionally, and physically. They believed in deliberately embracing small hardships to build resilience and strengthen the mind. Voluntary discomfort is about choosing, in controlled ways, to step outside your comfort zone. This practice trains you to handle adversity with calm and grace when it inevitably comes your way. Why practice voluntary discomfort? By exposing yourself to minor challenges, whether it's skipping a meal, taking a cold shower, or waking up earlier, you prepare your mind and body for bigger struggles. You learn that discomfort is not something to fear or avoid, but something to face head-on. This habit builds self-control, reduces dependency on luxuries, and reminds you that you are stronger than your impulses and cravings. Try a small act of voluntary discomfort daily or weekly. For example, take a cold shower instead of a warm one. Fast for a few hours beyond your usual mealtime. Walk or bike instead of driving. Delay gratification on a favorite treat or leisure activity. These simple practices rewire your response to difficulty. When unexpected hardships hit, you don't panic, you remain steady. Seneca advised, to bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. And Epictetus reminded us, we must endure a little pain if we want to enjoy the blessings. When you choose discomfort, ask yourself, what is this teaching me about my strength? How does this moment of challenge make me more prepared for life? Set an intention each morning to face one small discomfort voluntarily. Notice how it shifts your perspective on difficulty and builds your mental fortitude. 7. Keep death in mind, memento mori. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning remember that you will die. It's not a morbid fixation, but a profound reminder to live fully and wisely. By keeping death in mind, the Stoics sharpened their focus on what truly matters. Knowing that life is finite encourages us to stop procrastinating, stop sweating the small stuff, and start living with urgency and purpose. Why remember death? Death is the great equalizer, inevitable, unavoidable, and impartial. When you accept this, you free yourself from illusions of permanence and control. This acceptance brings clarity. Every moment is precious, and every choice counts. Memento mori teaches humility, gratitude, and courage. It reminds you to let go of petty grievances, forgive quickly, and love deeply. Take a moment each day to reflect, if today were my last day, would I live it differently? Let this question guide your actions, priorities, and mindset. Marcus Aurelius wrote, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Seneca advised, let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Carry a small token, a stone, a coin, or a ring, that reminds you of mortality. When you see or feel it, pause to remember the impermanence of life. At night, ask yourself, did I live today with awareness that my time is limited? Did I act with purpose and kindness? 8. Focus on virtue, not outcomes. Stoicism teaches us that true fulfillment and peace come not from external success or results, but from living a life of virtue, that is, living according to wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. Outcomes are often beyond our control. A project may fail despite our best efforts, relationships may falter, and plans can go awry. But the one thing we always control is how we conduct ourselves, the character we embody in the process. Why focus on virtue? When we chase results, money, status, approval, we tie our happiness to unpredictable external factors. This creates anxiety and disappointment. Instead, if we focus on being virtuous, doing the right thing with integrity and intention, our peace is grounded in something stable and unshakable. Imagine you give a presentation. The outcome, approval, praise, success, is uncertain. But you can control how prepared, honest, and respectful you are. If you focus on those virtues, you will feel content regardless of external judgment. Epictetus said, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Practical reflection. At the end of the day, ask yourself, did I act virtuously today? Did I uphold my values, regardless of the outcome? Before taking any action, pause and ask, is this aligned with my values? Is this the right thing to do? By focusing on virtue rather than outcomes, you root your peace and clarity in what truly matters, your character. This shift transforms how you approach challenges, freeing you from the constant pressure of external validation and allowing you to live with integrity and calm. 9. Reflect daily. Reflection is a cornerstone of Stoic practice. Each day offers countless moments to learn and grow, but without reflection, they often pass unnoticed. By pausing to review your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you cultivate self-awareness. This allows you to recognize patterns, correct mistakes, and reinforce what serves your peace. Before bed, spend a few minutes asking yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I falter? How can I improve tomorrow? Marcus Aurelius journaled, look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. Keep a journal or use a simple checklist to track your reflections. This habit turns experience into wisdom and fosters mental clarity. 10. Live according to nature. Stoicism teaches that living in harmony with nature, both the world around you and your own nature, is key to peace. This means accepting the natural order of life, your role in it, and acting in accordance with your reason and virtues. Observe your natural rhythms and respect your body and mind's needs. Likewise, accept life cycles, growth, decay, change as part of your journey. Marcus Aurelius said, adapt yourself to the life you have been given, and truly love the people with whom destiny has surrounded you. Ask yourself, am I resisting life's natural flow? How can I align more fully with my true self and the world? 11. Choose stillness over stimulation. In our hyper-connected world, stillness has become a rare luxury. Our minds are constantly pulled in every direction, by notifications, scrolling, noise, and the pressure to always be doing. But Stoicism invites us to step back, to pause, to reclaim our mental space. Stillness is not idleness. It's a deliberate slowing down, a conscious return to clarity, presence, and peace. Stillness is where we process our thoughts, examine our intentions, and realign with our values. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor with countless responsibilities, wrote in Meditations, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Constant stimulation trains your mind to react, not reflect. It weakens focus, breeds anxiety, and pulls you away from deeper insight. Stillness, on the other hand, creates space. Space to choose how you respond. Space to breathe. Space to think clearly. Start small. Spend 5 minutes in silence each morning. No phone, no to-do list, just breath and awareness. Use transitions throughout your day to pause and reset. For example, between meetings or tasks, take 60 seconds to sit silently and refocus. Seneca observed, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When we constantly chase stimulation, we lose ourselves. Create screen-free zones or hours during your day. Take regular walks without headphones or podcasts. End your day with silence or journaling instead of more input. Even a few minutes of true stillness can recenter your mind and restore your clarity. Ask yourself, where am I chasing noise today? What would happen if I paused instead of reacting? How would I speak, act, or decide differently if I were more still? In stillness, we return to ourselves. We remember what truly matters. And we find the quiet strength to navigate the noise of life with grace. 12. Detach from external validation. Seeking approval from others leads to dependence and anxiety. The Stoics taught that your worth comes from your own virtue, not from others' opinions. Detaching from external validation means cultivating self-respect and focusing on your own values. When you catch yourself craving praise or fearing criticism, pause and remind yourself, my peace is not up for negotiation. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Practice acting authentically, even if it risks disapproval. 13. Manage expectations. Unrealistic expectations are a major source of disappointment and stress. The Stoics encouraged setting expectations grounded in reality and preparing for all outcomes. Real-life application. Approach situations with openness, ready to accept whatever happens without despair. Seneca wrote, he is a great man who uses earthenware as if it were silver, and silver as if it were earthenware. Before engaging in any event, remind yourself, I cannot control the outcome, only my response. 15. Respond, don't react. Reacting is often impulsive and fueled by emotion. Responding is deliberate and grounded in reason. The Stoics taught that when faced with provocation, we pause, assess, and choose our actions mindfully. When anger or frustration arises, take a breath before speaking or acting. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Practice mindfulness in your conversations and decisions. 16. Simplify your life. In a world of endless noise, speed, and distraction, simplicity is a radical act of freedom. The Stoics believed that clarity, peace, and strength thrive in a life free from unnecessary clutter, both physical and mental. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." But what if we flipped that? What if having less actually gave us more? More peace, more focus, more meaning. What does it mean to simplify your life? It means letting go of what doesn't serve your higher self. It means choosing depth over distraction, substance over excess. Look around your daily life. Is your calendar overcrowded? Is your home filled with things you don't need? Is your mind consumed by worries and noise that don't align with your values? Simplicity is not about deprivation, it's about intention. It's asking, what truly matters? And then letting everything else fall away. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. In other words, peace isn't found by chasing more, it's found by needing less. Unsubscribe from one email list that clutters your inbox. Say no to one obligation that drains your energy. Remove one item from your room that you haven't used in a year. Spend 10 minutes each morning without checking your phone. These small acts reclaim your attention and your peace. At the end of the day, ask, what cluttered my mind today? What consumed my energy that didn't deserve it? What can I release tomorrow to live more simply, more clearly? Simplicity isn't a destination, it's a discipline. And every time you choose less noise, fewer distractions, and deeper focus, you return to what's essential. And in what's essential, you find yourself. 17. Seek wisdom continuously. Wisdom is not a destination. It's a lifelong journey. The Stoics didn't see themselves as masters of philosophy, but as students of it. Every day was an opportunity to learn, refine, and grow. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, still wrote nightly reflections to sharpen his understanding. Why? Because true wisdom isn't about knowing everything, it's about knowing yourself. In a world full of noise and opinion, wisdom acts as your compass. It helps you navigate uncertainty, make sound decisions, and align with your values. It gives you the ability to respond with clarity, not just instinct. The Stoics believed that a wise person sees beyond appearance. They understand the deeper workings of nature, human behavior, and cause and effect. Wisdom turns experience into insight. Read something meaningful every day. It doesn't need to be long. One page from a Stoic text. A quote that grounds you. A journal entry that helps you reflect. Ask questions. Be curious. Listen more than you speak. Don't just consume knowledge, apply it. That's where wisdom grows. Seneca wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This isn't just a clever quote, it's a lifestyle. Whether you're 18 or 80, the pursuit of wisdom keeps you humble, open, and evolving. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes daily to reading timeless philosophy or journaling. Seek out mentors, books, and conversations that challenge your thinking. Replace "I already know" with "What more can I learn here? What did I learn today? Where did I fall short, and what does that teach me? Am I growing wiser, or just older?" When you seek wisdom, you don't just become more informed, you become more free. Free from ignorance. Free from impulse. Free from the illusion that you already have all the answers. The path of wisdom is quiet, patient, and powerful. And walking it daily is one of the greatest acts of self-respect. 18. Practice compassion. Stoicism is often misunderstood as cold or detached. But in truth, Stoicism teaches deep compassion, not rooted in sentimentality, but in wisdom. The Stoics recognized that every human being is part of a larger whole. We are connected by nature, by reason, and by our shared vulnerabilities. To practice compassion is not to be weak, it is to understand. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I have seen the beauty of good and bad, and I will not be harmed." He didn't say this to judge others. He said it to prepare himself, to respond with understanding, not anger. With grace, not resentment. Why it matters. When we expect perfection from others, we suffer. When we react to every offense, we lose peace. But when we remember that others are human, flawed, struggling, just like us, we open the door to compassion. This doesn't mean tolerating harm. It means responding with wisdom, seeing beyond behavior to the pain or ignorance that drives it. Think of someone who frustrates you. A coworker, a family member, a stranger. Now ask, what might they be going through that I don't see? How would I want to be treated if I were acting from fear or pain? This shift softens judgment. It gives space for patience and peace. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. Even in conflict, even in stress, even when others fall short. When someone irritates you, pause. Take one deep breath before responding. Say to yourself, they are doing the best they can with what they know." Practice one quiet act of kindness each day, without expecting praise or return. Ask yourself each night, where did I choose compassion today? Where could I have chosen it, but didn't? What can I learn from that moment? Compassion is not about excusing behavior, it's about expanding your heart. It is a Stoic strength to remain kind in an unkind world. To see others clearly, yet choose to meet them with dignity. When you practice compassion, you protect your peace, and you uplift the world. 19. Focus on the present moment. In the chaos of modern life, the present moment is often the first thing we abandon. Our minds leap forward into anxiety or backward into regret. Rarely do they rest in now. But now is the only place where peace lives. The Stoics knew this deeply. They taught that worrying about the future or dwelling on the past only robs us of clarity, power, and serenity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Why? Because the present is the only moment you can influence. The only place where you can choose your response, redirect your thoughts, and live fully. When you find your mind racing ahead, about tomorrow's problems, next week's decisions, or a distant outcome, pause. Take a deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Ask yourself, where am I right now? This small act of returning grounds you in the moment, and in the moment you are free. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." The Stoics weren't saying to ignore the future. They were saying, don't live in it. Plan wisely, but don't worry endlessly. Practice single-tasking. Give your full attention to one task at a time. Use breath as a reset. In stressful moments, take 3 slow breaths. Let each one anchor you in now. Use cues, like stopping at a red light or making tea, as moments to return to presence. At the end of the day, journal answers to, where was I fully present today? Where did I drift into fear, projection, or distraction? How can I return to presence more often tomorrow? The present moment is where life is happening. Not in your memories. Not in your imagination. But here, right now. When you live here, fully, mindfully, you reconnect with the richness of life. And that's where mental clarity is born. 20. Build resilience through adversity. Adversity is not the enemy, it's the forge. In Stoic philosophy, hardship is not something to avoid, but something to engage with, because it is through difficulty that your character is revealed and strengthened. Just as muscles grow under resistance, so too does the soul grow through trials. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Fire feeds on obstacles. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just poetic. It's practical. Every challenge you face is a training ground for resilience. Not through denial or toxic positivity, but through courageous presence. Through showing up again and again, with clarity, strength, and purpose. You cannot escape pain in life, but you can build the power to endure it wisely. The Stoics taught that suffering is not what happens to you, it's how you interpret it. Resilience is the decision to rise, not in spite of hardship, but because of it. When something goes wrong, a rejection, a failure, a loss, pause and ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can I use this to grow stronger? If I handle this well, what kind of person will I become? This reframe turns adversity into fuel. Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. When we approach hardship with wisdom, we stop asking why me, and start asking, what now? Embrace one discomfort each day, however small, a cold shower, a tough conversation, a skipped comfort. When challenges arise, breathe deeply and say, this is training. I am getting stronger. Keep a resilience journal. Each night, reflect, what adversity did I face today? How did I respond? What did I learn? Adversity doesn't break you, it reveals you. And every moment you rise, every time you endure with grace, you are not only surviving, you are transforming. The resilient mind doesn't need life to be easy. It needs life to be meaningful. And Stoicism teaches us how to find meaning in every trial and clarity in every storm. You've just journeyed through powerful Stoic teachings, timeless truths that are simple, but not easy. In this world of noise, urgency, and endless desire, practicing them is an act of courage. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. Because inner peace isn't found in controlling the world, but in mastering the self. You can't dictate the weather, but you can carry a calm within the storm. You can't avoid hardship, but you can choose how it shapes you. The Stoics knew that the world does not owe us comfort. It offers us life, and life offers us opportunities to become who we are meant to be. Let's remember, when we embrace what we can control, we stop wasting energy on the impossible. When we accept the flow of life, we move with wisdom, not resistance. When we limit our desires, we break free from the chains of craving. When we remember life's transience, we stop postponing what matters. And when we build an inner fortress, we become grounded, even in chaos. These aren't just philosophies, they are practices. Like watering a seed, it takes daily intention. Some days will be harder than others. But each step you take, each moment you pause, breathe, reflect, is a victory. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be present. You only need to remember, peace is not something out there to chase, it's something you carry, cultivate, and return to. So, take these truths with you, not just as ideas, but as tools. Let them guide your choices, shape your thoughts, and calm your heart. Because in releasing the struggle, you make space. And in that space, you find freedom. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this message resonates with you, take a quiet moment now to simply breathe and be. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius.